Because I talk about the need for unique game mechanics so much, I set out in search of them, to try to find some interesting and unique game mechanics that perhaps haven't been seen before. In this series, I rank games by 3 criteria: uniqueness, particularly in mechanics, how well these mechanics are supported and featured by the game, and the overall quality of the game. This last one is also important because even if you have a unique mechanic, if the rest of your game is bad, no one's going to care about it. The first game is Death's Ghost, sent to me by Nesrox. In this precision platformer, you play as Larf, a guy who is participating in an experiment to figure out immortality. The main mechanic is the ability to die and turn into a ghost. The ghost floats upward until you hit a timer or press jump, at which point you revert back to normal. However, if you die while still in ghost form, you die, I guess, all the way, and some obstacles will kill you all the way regardless of what form you were in. While a little strange, it is definitely unique and provides a lot of opportunity for interesting gameplay and level design. So I give it a score of 7 out of 10 for uniqueness. After playing the whole game through, I found most of the game was a vertical ascent, requiring you to use your ghost form frequently, and there were some very interesting levels that explore your ability very well, such as parts that require you to jump out of your ghost form just in time to make a landing. However, many parts of the game had absolutely nothing to do with the main mechanic, and instead just had typical precision platforming situations, such as this bit here. And many parts were extremely difficult and unnecessary, as they did not tie into the main mechanic at all. So it gets an implementation score of 4 out of 5. Overall, Death's Ghost was interesting, and the dialogue, while cringeworthy, was still pretty fun. However, the game for sure needs polish, and many of the levels need reworked. So it gets an overall score of 3. The next game is Endustry, sent to me by Jonas of Lauti Games. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Endustry is similar to Factorio, but more to Mindustry in that you collect resources with harvesters and conveyor belts. But you are living in an end-of-the-world situation where you need wood for your fire, oil for your generator, and food for your panda. If you run out of food or wood, you will lose, and running out of oil means your machines will lose power, possibly dooming you as well. And if you play the normal mode, there are alien waves that come once a day to kill you. While I can't say there are any mechanics that are particularly unique, I can say this combination of mechanics haven't really been seen before. And as someone pointed out to me last episode, sometimes the most unique thing a game can have nowadays is how well a game can bring a few ideas together. So with that in mind, I give this game a uniqueness score of 5 out of 10 because the overall concept is quite intriguing. While Endustry holds so much potential, it felt a little awkward balancing the automation feel with the survival aspect, such as the need to return to base often to normally stoke the fire, feed the bear, and oil the engine. The further your progress, the more energy you needed, which meant you had to return and refill more often, interrupting the gameplay flow. And the conveyor belts, while cool and understandably difficult to program, served little purpose besides bringing stuff you harvested back to the base, because there's no crafting or automation besides the conveyor belts. So it was like an RTS, but with the extra step of needing conveyor belts to get resources. So for now, I can sadly only give it an implementation score of 3 out of 10. Endustry for sure needs polish and balancing. The UI was confusing to use, which can be fixed by adding quality of life features and a better tutorial, and a few game design choices make the game feel slow, such as cost versus income ratios and the fog of war that can only be revealed with special beacons, which felt like an unnecessary feature that ends up just being annoying. So while the game is definitely interesting, I felt like it was slightly sluggish, and that I explored everything that it had to offer in too little time, which is a good thing. I mean, the foundation for something really cool is there, but needs more content and thoughtful balance. Potentially even some core gameplay overhauls that can hopefully still keep the very cool feel of the game, but fix the issues that it has. So I give the game an overall score of 4 out of 10. Moving on to Egg Ascent. This demo was sent to me by Weed Snorkeler. In this game, you are a weird little pink thingy that can suck in eggs and keys and potentially other objects into its mouth, then release it in any direction, shooting you in the opposite direction. While shooting something to propel you the other way has definitely been done before, giving you only one at a time from the environment was definitely creative. So uniqueness, it gets a 6 out of 10. The level design, at least as far as the demo goes, is very gradual and enjoyable. New aspects of the game were introduced at an excellent pace, such as keys and locked doors. Now see, the key could have just been in the level, and when you pick it up you can open the door, but instead the design choice was made that you need to bring the key with you using the core mechanic. A perfect example of having everything in the game make use of and show off the main mechanic, so I give it a well-deserved score of 9 out of 10 in implementation. Ascent is well polished and the physics and player movement are satisfying. The game's graphics are simple, perhaps overly so, and the last level in the demo I could not complete, which felt off because I didn't have a hard time with the rest of the levels, so maybe some playtesting is needed or perhaps it's just me. Either way, a great game all around and gets an overall score of 8 out of 10. The last game is Crystalline Fission, a puzzle game where you try to get crystals of varying quantities on top of the right blocks. They move any of the 4 compass directions but can be turned, split, and divided by blocks provided in each level. Blocks that change direction of moving objects isn't unique, but tying that to crystals that need to be split or merged together made the experience very interesting and very unique. So I give it an 8 out of 10 in uniqueness. The gradual introduction of new blocks was always clear and kept each level entertaining. The puzzles were challenging and required foresight and experimentation, and as soon as the splitting and merging mechanics were introduced, they were used in every level after. Another great part of the game is everything except the crystals and board size could be manipulated by the player, allowing freedom to pursue your own solutions. Most levels only had one, but in one level for sure I found my own solution because I didn't use all the blocks. So implementation gets a 9 out of 10. Overall, the game was fun and easy, though the sounds and music seemed to be broken, and I couldn't get it to work. Probably a minor bug though, otherwise a solid 8 out of 10 overall. If there's a game you've made that you'd like me to rate, please let me know. Otherwise, if you just know of a game that you think I should rate, let me know about that too. I love all the options as I continue my search for unique mechanics. Thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful day.